Netflix came out with a short series called Fit for TV: The Reality of the Biggest Loser.
Mhm.
All right, we first saw the story on Her Take, so we're going to go ahead and let Jillian introduce it a little bit.
So we're going to start with the Netflix hit job because this one is personal. So I'm guessing you guys have all heard about this by now, this Biggest Loser documentary. Can I presume that, team?
Yes, I texted y'all about it. I remember when we got done with taping last week, I went home to cut time codes and it was popped up as like number 3 on my Netflix.
So first off, we've been watching Jillian for a bit now. We like her. We trust her. She seems like an honest person. And some people have even called her the female Joe Rogan. You know,
You've called her the female Joe Rogan.
some people have called her.
You're the only one who's called her the female Joe Rogan.
Have called her the female Joe
But
Rogan.
I tell you what. If people do start calling her the female Joe Rogan, I will credit you. You made it happen.
Okay, so we were gonna take her word for it fully because we enjoy her. Oh, that sounds weird. Okay, sorry.
We do not enjoy her. No.
I don't know how
we
else to say
appreciate her
it.
content. We appreciate her content.
It's because my mind goes to that Game of Thrones scene.
From my father.
He's a well-read stonemason. Can't say I've ever met a literate stonemason.
Have you met many stonemasons, my lord?
Careful now, girl. I enjoy you, but be careful. Take that back to the kitchen. Eat what you want.
I don't mean it in like a sexual way. Anyways,
Nobody took it that way, bro.
well, then why'd you laugh? You just gaslight me now? Anyways, she brought receipts and it felt like she was having multiple mic drop moments and we were missing out because we didn't have the full context. So
We want to validate her mic drop moments.
so
That is all.
Yeah, so Satirius and I decided to go watch the full docuseries.
Turns out she was right.
Yeah, I actually don't remember anything good being said about her off the top of my head. Maybe
no.
there was some, but I cannot remember anything. I only remember them being kind of negative towards her.
In short, almost every time they presented her, they made her look like the bad person.
Yeah, I don't know if that was intentional or maybe it was, but we'll get into it right now.
All right, so here are the main bad things that stood out to us while we were watching the docuseries. First, she was portrayed as very mean to the contestants.
Yeah.
Secondly, it was implied she was giving illegal drugs. Right?
Yeah.
So an example here is in episode 3, or the only example, they talked about the show being investigated for illegal drug use, right? They then quickly churn into that whole situation that Jillian had where she apparently had violated the show rules
Yeah.
by giving the contestants caffeine pills. And apparently it's a big thing that the doc signed off on no caffeine pills, right?
Yeah.
But she violated that.
So that
and she stands
section
by it.
coming directly after the fact that the show was being scrutinized for drug use, it kind of implies that, Jillian was one of the main
She
ones
was the one
participating in
doing
this.
it, right? Exactly. And they follow up with the producers seeming disappointed in this act. However, you could take it one of two ways. Either they were disappointed in the situation or they were disappointed with Jillian.
Yeah.
Right?
But
how they played it out, it made it seem like they were disappointed in Jillian.
Right. And the next negative things that were the final two negative things that we wrote down was that she never reached out to Bob Harper after his heart attack. Bob Harper was the other trainer that was there alongside her, and she declined to actually comment on or to take part in this docuseries.
Right, which was given to us in a little script on the screen.
Yeah, very ominously.
So bringing it back to Her Take, we do think that Jillian did a good job at defending herself. So go and watch that snippet from their show.
Yeah, especially if you watch the docuseries, because then you'll see all the mic drop moments that Jillian got.
Oh yeah, you'll just see inconsistencies. You'll be like, "What the heck, man?"
Mic drop moments.
The mic drop moments.
Some people are referring to this as Jillian's epic mic drop moments.
Here are some items we thought were important to note from an outsider's perspective, right?
Yeah.
So growing up, I actually did watch The Biggest Loser. I love that show. It inspired me to lose weight when I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the show,
I never watched. I didn't really watch it growing up. Sorry.
I do agree. Jillian was a tough trainer. She did come across as mean.
You've kind of given me the impression that you saw her as the mean trainer lady as a kid. That's the impression that I get from you from how you described it when we were talking about it earlier.
She was the mean trainer lady, and it kind of made me believe that most of the trainers were just mean. But
all trainers like in the world
now, well, because you remember like watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah,
and like Will Smith is going through some training session, and his trainer's just super mean.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
Trainers were always perceived as mean.
So
right?
Jillian was one of those. That's funny.
So I just felt like that was a normal thing for trainers.
Right.
I grow up now and I start to realize her methods were a tough love trainer. She was just like, you
Yeah.
need to do this because if you don't push hard and do it for yourself, nobody's going to do it for you.
And what's sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
So what's important to I think to
Yeah.
say there is that these people have tried everything. This is a last resort. They do need, in my opinion, now tough love. There's a point where
Yeah.
compassion and you can be nice and you can be all this other stuff. But at a certain point, especially in our own personal lives, we've seen this with our friends, with ourselves or whatever. At a certain point, it's no longer about compassion and being nice. It's now, hey,
Right.
you're fat. Stop it. Let's work.
Right. They give one example where she gives a nice little heart to heart with one of the contestants, but there were more than just that one instance, and they were sure to not show that.
Right.
Right. So when it comes to the whole caffeine situation,
The whole
we
her
believe
giving the contestants illicit drugs. That's kind of what they were saying.
that is
Bad
not true.
drugs. That's
That is
what I
not
got
true.
from it.
And the reason why we don't believe anything they said on the show is because Jillian actually brought receipts. She brought the
Right.
proof. So from the outside in, like we would hear this, you would watch the docuseries and you think, oh crap, Jillian did that.
But in the
then you go listen to
docuseries-
her explanation.
In
That's not the
docuseries,
case.
it was just he said, she said, he said, he said. Like it was just this is what was happening.
Right.
This is what was happening. And when you go to Jillian, she actually has emails and communications between people showing this is what
Exactly.
actually happened.
Which
I
is
don't-
entirely
look,
contradictory.
I'm not a
they
docuseries
did.
I'm not a docuseries maker, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you have these emails, that might be important to include in the docuseries that you're making.
Right.
That's just me, though.
Unless you were trying to smear someone. Oh, but who am I to say that?
And we'll get into that right now. But the last thing is they did make Jillian look like a kind of a big villain because she did not reach out to Bob Harper after he had his heart attack.
Right.
Right. So that was the biggest whoa that I took from this. And so then when we go to her take, Jillian doesn't really address it at all, which we do think is interesting. We wonder why not. But here's what. So I went to Jillian's Instagram, as I always do whenever some sort of controversy happens. The first thing I go is their Instagram or their ex. And
Right.
so on Instagram, she posted this. This is the last image is my second to last text ever to Bob Harper. Take from it what you will. This still frustrates me even more, though, as somebody, again, who likes Jillian, because what was the last message? That's the one I want to see. Why only show me the second to last one? It
makes me think that it was a strongly worded message.
it invokes more questions, in my opinion.
Right.
So here's what the message says. It says, I really think it's shitty of you to not ever... I really think... Can you read it? Because my mic is blocking it.
You're good. I really think it's shitty of you to not even respond to my text. It's this kind of thing that always makes me so disappointed. Our relationship.
I assume she meant bye, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it's something, this kind of leads you to think. It leads me to think, at least, that they had, a falling out.
it just seems like Bob was the problem. Now
And a good one.
that's how it. Well, if Bob's not responding, it does seem like he's the problem.
Probably the case. Probably.
As far as my perspective goes, though, the way I perceived their relationship through the docuseries, I really didn't gather much other than her not reaching out. It just seems to me like they were coworkers. I didn't really see them as close, just from docuseries. Again, I didn't watch the show, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
They kind of seem like they were sort of buddies, but
based off the docuseries or based off your watching of the show, or both?
based off the docuseries.
Okay.
I think for what I can remember of the show, they also seemed like they had a good relationship.
Okay.
I don't know what I can say about outside of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
But based on this text that Jillian showed, do you think it's justified in not reaching out, or she was justified in not reaching out to him after he had a heart attack?
I mean, it's not a whole lot to go off of, but if it was a bad falling out, I think it's okay for her to not reach out.
Right.
For her to not have to reach out.
What I think is interesting, I was doing a little bit of reading too. So there was other interviews that he had, and there was other posts being written or whatever, other news media. So one I forgot. Dang it, I don't have the source, but I do know for sure. One news media said that they tried to ask him more about the whole Jillian thing, and he was very tight-lipped and refused to answer anything more other than the fact that she didn't reach out, which I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And and again, Jillian did not comment on it at all, so that's also very interesting. Okay, so ultimately, the reason we chose this topic is because we were curious. Even though we like Jillian, there is a possibility she's doing the they're attacking me, I'm a victim, blah blah
I'm the
blah
victim.
thing.
Right. Yeah.
That's sometimes we see certain people do this. I'm not gonna name names, but we do see certain people do this, such as Lindy. It could be.
What do you have against Lindy?
It could be that people are fully justified in attacking Jillian if she genuinely did something wrong.
Yeah.
But when we
It
first
doesn't seem that way.
and so when we were first watching the docuseries, we thought they're not really smearing her that much. So is Jillian over exaggerating here? And then we got to thinking about it a little bit more, and we realized that no, if you're not like us, and you don't actually have any sort of notion of who Jillian is, you're not predisposed to like her, you might come off thinking she's a bad person, and you might come off thinking she's like the worst one out of everybody.
Yeah.
Based off of this docuseries.
Yeah, and I do want to know, they didn't show her a lot, but when they did show her in the docuseries, they made her look really bad.
And she was
that's the thing.
She was very prominent in the last episode. In my opinion, she was the most prominent, and that's when they were smearing her the most.
Exactly, and they made sure to do it in the last episode, right? Because the first episode, almost no mention. Second episode, a mention here and there.
More.
A lot more depiction of who she is. And then the last episode was like the weird organization of the notes that made it seem like she was the one doing the illegal stuff. Like, how could you not pull that away?
Right.
Right.
So we do think Jillian, though, is justified in saying that they are smearing her, because we do think they're being smart about it. If they had smeared her a ton, it would kind of invoke this feeling in people of, let's go research to make sure that this, like, it's crazy that she did all these things. Let's go research it. But they just did it a little bit. And so if you don't know much about her, you kind of walk away and you don't care about it, and you just kind of watch this docuseries. You walk away thinking, she's probably a bad person. So the next time they smear her again, they'll put a little bit more of bad stuff. Yeah, they'll keep sprinkling bad stuff about Jillian till eventually the way you think of her is negative and you don't even realize it. And so I think that's what they're doing. And I do think she is justified in saying that they're smearing her.
It's a very diabolical and smart way to go about doing that.
Yeah.
But
especially because we don't know who funded it. Jillian herself was trying to figure out who funded this. What's going on here?
Also, really odd side note, the whole Ozempic thing at the end of the docuseries really made it seem like, because also just know she's heavily against Ozempic.
Yeah.
And they were advocating for Ozempic at the end of all of this.
It did seem like it did seem like a commercial for, hey, Ozempic is the answer here because people are suffering from obesity.
I researched it and I asked the obvious question, so it's going to be an obvious no. But like, what did Ozempic fund that docuseries?
Oh, you just typed that into Google and you.
Yeah, I figured. Obviously, it was like a quick search. I had to dig deeper.
Right.
But for some reason, I feel like there's some. It just seemed odd. Why would they throw that in there, right?
Yeah.
Anywho's, this might solve our problems.
Let's spin the wheel. Whoa. This is me talking to cover up the silence of the wheel spin. Let's see what we get.
Keep it or leave it.
You might have to respin that one because we don't have that
All right,
ready.
respin that.
What's the point of the wheel if we just respin whenever we don't have something?
We got to do a better job of getting stuff.
Yeah, you're right. And it did it again.
Keep X or leave X. How about Arbiter's Up?
It's just so easy to have an Arbiter's Up thing prepped.
We'll get better at this, guys. Don't worry.
Okay, the caption says, father steps into his daughter's fight and handles it for her. Well, this could be interesting.
Holy shit! Get up! Get up! Get up! And stay back!
Stand up! Get in the car!
Stop it!
Get in the car!
Oh!
Come on, get in the car! What the fuck is wrong with you?
Holy shit!
Okay, go with you.
Why is there there's adults here? They're not that far away. Why?
I have no idea what that guy's doing right there. He didn't do enough. Him.
Look at him just watching. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That toss was a bit much.
Get in the car!
Okay, I'm all for lessons, but when it comes to adults, they need hard lessons that are, but and kids do too, but not this much. What do you think?
I do think it was much to throw her on the ground. But him stepping in aggressively is sufficient, in my opinion. I think that was fine. But throwing her on the ground was wrong.
Do you think he meant to throw her on the ground?
No, I think it was a heat of a moment kind of thing.
I think he was just trying to push her, and then men are strong, so they, forget.
Might have been an accident. It kind of looked like he was his hands went down. They didn't go to the side.
I think your hand just naturally goes down when you're pushing away a shorter person.
So I saw a comment, and a lot of them are in favor of the dad doing what he did to protect his daughter. And when I think about my daughter being in a situation like that, it would infuriate me.
Right.
I just hope I have the wisdom and the patience to not do something like he did. The restraint.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he just pushed her, and like you can't push somebody straight when they're shorter than you. You push them like this, like that's just. And so she fell because he just didn't realize how strong he was going to push her. I don't honestly.
To me, it looked like a toss straight to the ground.
You think he intentionally threw her to the ground?
I think well, yes, but in the heat of the moment, I think leading up to that, it wasn't his intention to just like slam her to the ground.
Right.
But he was just angry. It was a lot. It was a lot of frustration flowing through him right at that moment, I feel. Still wrong. But I understand why he got there.
I think ultimately I'm okay with it just because it doesn't seem like he meant to do it.
Really?
I think it's just, no, you know what? No, I'm not okay with it. You're right. Because it is too much.
No.
It's a girl. She's a kid. They fight.
So there was this other, maybe I might have saved it, but there was this other video. It's a side note, but adults are in between the fighters, and that's still, I think, the way to do it. Grab your daughter, get in between them, walk away.
Yeah,
right?
No, you're right. You're right. In this case, because they're two girls, they're kids, they're kids fight, and it's not that hard to subdue them. Like if this was two grown women, adult, I think that might be different. I think yes, you come in and you push, like maybe. Because you run a risk of an adult woman actually hurting you. A kid's not gonna hurt you with their hit, especially a girl.
Final thoughts? Wrong.
Yeah.
Father should have shown more restraint.
Yeah, I think I agree.